Hello, everyone, and welcome back to What the Frick podcast. Today, I will be discussing all things related to being single, why it's good to be single, why you should be happy being single, why you shouldn't be rushing into a relationship, pretty much everything you could think about in terms of being single, I guess. I don't know about you guys, but I am currently 25 years old, and I am in that weird time in my life where half my friends are engaged or married or have weddings currently being planned or are in very long-term relationships, and then I have the other half of my friends who are a lot like me, who are completely single with zero prospects and are just kind of out living their life and doing their own thing. I remember one time I had a manager of mine and we were just kind of discussing life, and I think I was 22 at the time, and he told me, once you start entering your 20s, you're going to be in a weird situation where some people are having kids, some people are off traveling the world, some people are getting married, and some people are sitting at home living on their parents' couch, and you really can't judge anyone for what they're doing, and you're gonna find out that everyone's kind of in their own place in life. And I didn't really realize it at first because I was only 22 at the time and I had just graduated college and was kind of out living on my own. But recently I've really been thinking about how true that statement is and how we really shouldn't put ourselves into these boxes, and we shouldn't really be judging other people either for maybe the stage that they're at in life. And I think a lot of us, at least I know a lot of women, kind of look at their age and say, I should be at this point in life. When I was in high school, I know a lot of my friends said, by the time I'm 24, 25, I want to be married. And then, a year later, I want to start having kids. I want to be a young mom, and I'm going to have my entire life figured out. And even at the age of 16, I would say, I don't want that. And I think part of the reason is because my parents didn't meet until they were, 28 or 29, and then they got married 2 years after that. So I always kind of had a mindset of getting married more around the age of 30. And they had me, I believe, 3? No, not 3. Oh my God, when did they have me? I honestly can't remember, but it was sometime around 30 that they had me. And so I always looked at it as your 20s are not for getting married and having kids. It's for kind of doing your own thing. And then, in your late 20s, finding that person. And I think in this day and age, dating is obviously so hard, and people they don't go up to each other like they used to, maybe like 15 or 20 years ago, and it's very heavily focused on dating apps and sliding into people's DMs, and it's not always the best suit. But I think, to follow up that statement, we should not be judging people for where they're at in life. I personally, my best friend got married 2 years ago when she was 24, and she had been dating her boyfriend since junior year of high school. So while it seemed like they were young, they had been dating for like 6+ years. So it totally made sense why they got married at a younger age. And then I have 2 other friends who are currently engaged and planning their weddings, and they're both getting married in the next year. And then, of course, there's the other couple of friends I have who are not even going on dates, aren't interested in dating. Maybe they're going on a few dates, but it's not working out. And then there's, of course, me, who's in this weird kind of purgatory phase, I'd say, and that's why I wanted to discuss this week. I, for one, have been going through, I feel like, just a weird phase of maybe for a week or two, I will be like just trolling the dating apps, just sliding and swiping and, looking for people or someone that I think is relatively attractive and might want to go out with me. And then the next 2 weeks or 3 weeks, I won't even open the dating app. I won't even look at it because I'm so busy doing other things, or it just doesn't interest me for whatever reason to be on the apps. And it's strange because I've been just going through these phases of wanting someone and then not wanting someone, and, really wanting to have someone I can say, hey, let's come over and watch a movie and like order food and just hang out and like have that person to be with. And then the next day happens and I flip the switch, and that sounds like the worst thing in the world. And all I want to do is say, I can do whatever I want. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to come home. I'm going to eat dinner. I'm going to turn on The Bachelorette, and I'm going to have myself a little night and then go to sleep. So for me, it's just like a weird place to be in, because I'm like, do I want a relationship, or do I really enjoy being single? And I don't think there's anything wrong with kind of going back and forth depending on what's going on in my life. But recently I've been realizing that I think I might be happier with just what I have going on in my life currently in more of that single phase. And I'm going to tell you why, obviously. So back in May, I had been dating this guy, and we weren't like officially boyfriend and girlfriend or anything, but I would classify us as like we were exclusive, and we were only talking to each other, and it felt pretty serious, like on the verge of becoming something more. And obviously it didn't work out, and I have a whole other podcast episode related to him and what happened, and I promise at some point I will release it, but I'm still kind of working through what happened and perfecting that episode, so hold on tight there. More to come on that later. But that happened, and it was weird because I immediately just wanted to jump back on the apps and find myself someone new to kind of take away all the pain that he had caused. Oh, such fun times to remember. And it's weird because I've always told myself, and I've always believed, like, it's really important to take time to just be by yourself and do your own healing and your own processing after something relatively serious has ended. For example, if you went on 2 dates with a guy and you decided you guys didn't click, there's nothing wrong with going back out with another guy a week or two later. But for example, like if you're getting out of a long-term relationship, or maybe something that was more serious for a couple of months, I don't really think it's healthy to just jump back out into the dating world and try to go find someone new. The fact that you were in something that caused yourself emotion, whether that was pain or sadness, it's important to really reflect and, take the time to process what happened. And I think so many of us just don't want to deal with our emotions. And I know I, for one, didn't. I wanted to just completely forget about him and go online and find someone even better. But it just doesn't work like that. And I know that's called a rebound. And a lot of people do either have like major success with finding that person, or I don't know, I kind of look at it as you're just kind of using this next person that just kind of happens to come into your life at the time. And when you really think about it, it's unfair to that person because you're not in a place where you're ready to completely give yourself to someone else after whatever happened to you. And so to them, it's almost like a repeat of the cycle. Like, you were hurt, so you go find someone else, and you're probably going to end up hurting them. So why do that to another person that was just done to you? I remember the show How I Met Your Mother. There's an episode where they're discussing breakups and how long you should wait before you jump into a new thing or a new relationship, and everyone kind of gives an answer. And the character Robin says, and this has always stuck with me, so close, it takes half the amount of time that you were in that relationship for. So if you were dating that person for a year, you need about 6 months to process and heal. If you were dating that person for 3 months, you need like about a month and a half. You're dating them a month, you need probably like 2 weeks, something like that. And obviously it's not going to be this way for everyone because everyone's different and everyone has their own timeline when it comes to these things. But I have sort of been following that guideline. After me and my ex-boyfriend of 2 years had broken up, I didn't go out and really see anyone in a serious manner until it had been about a year. And I'm not sure if that was just an unconscious effort on my part, or if it just happened to fall that I had met a new person about a year later. And recently with this guy I had mentioned where things didn't work out, it had been a little over a month since things had ended. And like I said, we had been talking for about three and a half months. So I had gone online and met this new guy, and he was very nice, very cute, very charming. It was very easy to talk to him. We had great banter. But I just kind of realized that I didn't feel the same connection necessarily, or the same spark with him as I had with that previous guy. And it was confusing to me because I wasn't trying to compare him to this guy who had obviously done me wrongs. I'm not looking for someone to be a replica of someone that just hurt me. But based on all the people I've dated in my life, I think it's important that you feel that spark and that connection to some extent. And after going out with this new guy about 3 times, I realized, he's really fun to talk to and hang out with, but I'm not really feeling that extra little spark that everyone wants to feel. And it was nothing to do with him. He was great, but I think part of that was that I was still kind of, processing my emotions from what had happened with the last guy. And you mix that in with us just not having that physical chemistry, and things probably aren't going to work out. So I just recently, a few days ago, messaged this guy and let him know kind of where I was at and how I was feeling about things. And we had, a nice, mature conversation about it. Luckily we had only been talking for about 3 dates, so it was nothing serious, but I still felt like I owed him some sort of explanation because that's what I would want in, a situation like that. And I'm kind of at a point now where I really do just want to focus on myself. I was writing out my schedule the other day, and I had an event of some sort that I had to do, whether it was going to happy hour with friends or going to a work event, or I had family in town. I had something planned for the next 2 weeks, and I really sat down and said, you know what? I don't even really have time to be going on dates right now. Like, I don't think I have the mental capacity to go online and find a guy and chat with them for a bit and then make a plan with all these other things I have going on. And I kind of just want to take this time to focus on myself and the things that I want to do. I'm not saying I won't go out on a date if the opportunity presents itself, but I'm not going to make dating and finding a relationship my main priority right now. I'm only 25. And for some people, you might be like, you're 25, like, the clock's ticking, like, you better get going. But no, like, I am only 25 years old. I have the rest of my life to find someone and be with someone every single day and, make all my plans and schedules sort of with that person in mind and prioritizing them. So why would I not use this time to just do whatever the frick I want and be myself and make my own schedule, see the people I want to see? And, it's like I'm not going to get this time back. And it's not like I've been single for years. Like, I just got out of something serious 2 months ago. Like, I have all the time in the world to find someone new. So I'm going to use this time to just better myself, and eventually, they always say someone will come around when you're least expecting it, when you're not really looking for it, and that's usually been the case for me. So I'm just going to go out and live my life and do my own thing because I'm only 25 years old and I have the rest of my life to find someone. If you are that friend in your friend group that's the only single one, and let's say all your other friends are engaged, married, or in relationships, you might be feeling that anxiety of, why am I the only single one? Why does nobody want me? Why am I alone? I am here to tell you that you should look at this as a blessing and not a curse. Yeah, it's great that your friends were able to go out and find people that they love and they want to be with, but that doesn't mean that you're not going to find that. It just means you haven't found it yet. Again, are you 95 years old with no one that's ever loved you? No. You're probably in your 20s and you're just like, things haven't really worked out for me yet. And that's okay. I would say if there are people out there who are giving you a hard time about being single, or why haven't you found someone? Why has it been so long? Like, what are you waiting for? Stop being so picky. You know what? Let these people say what they want to say. 'Cause at the end of the day, you get to go home and do whatever you want. If you want to go out on a date with 5 different guys that week, you can. If you want to go to the bar and make out with a random stranger because you're drunk and you're feeling like it, you can. They can't do that, but you have every opportunity in the world to do what you want. And, not everyone's going to be aware of your mental stage. Maybe you're just really not in the mood to date because you have a lot going on in your career, or you're wanting to travel. That's really none of their business. If you are that person that's, you're ready for a relationship, but you're not having any luck on the apps, you're not finding anybody in real life, just take a step back. If you're an avid swiper and you're on that thing, 3-4 times a day looking for people, just take a step back. Maybe start limiting yourself by saying, you know what, I'm only going to open this app once a day. And maybe that's all you need. Or maybe I want to open this app once a week. Like, I'll open it every Wednesday night, let's say, and just see if who I've, matched with, if anyone has liked my profile. Start limiting yourself to the time that you're spending, looking for people in this way. And it's going to really start to rearrange your mind in the way that you're viewing yourself. If you're spending your free time on these apps, or whatever else you're doing to try to find someone, and it's not working for you, then you're just reiterating in your brain that you're failing. And so if you take a step back and you focus on other things, like, what, I'm gonna see my friends more, or what, I'm gonna make an effort to go to the gym every single day, or what, I really want to binge this new show. Like, I'm not gonna sit on my phone while I do it. I'm gonna just focus on the show, and that's it. Like, do other things to progress yourself and keep yourself busy, and you'll start to realize how okay you are with not having anyone. I think there are also so many people who are so desperate for companionship, or to be able to tell other people in their lives that they're not single, that they will just settle for the first thing that comes their way and gives them any ounce of attention. For example, with that guy I went on 3 dates with, yeah, I liked him and he was really fun to talk to, but I knew that I had been with other people in my life who made me more fulfilled, and I felt like had more to offer, for me at least, on a personal level. And so I could have just, kept seeing him and ridden it out, but that wouldn't have been fair to him. And in the end, I would have been settling knowing that I've been with people who have made me feel more, and just because this guy can't give that to me doesn't mean I'm not going to find one that will. I think it's also really important to just, like, don't be so hard on yourself. Everyone, and it's not just us, it's TV shows, it's movies, it's social media. I feel like that is such a big one. You look through your timeline and there's just like engagement after engagement, proposal, a wedding, this person's in Cabo with their boyfriend, and you're like, why am I sitting at home watching Vampire Diaries, eating pasta? So don't be so hard on yourself. Everyone at some point is going to find that time where they feel like that person on social media who's just flexing and feels like they're on top of the world. And then there's going to be times where that couple is literally having the biggest argument of their entire life and is maybe on the verge of breaking up, and all the things going through their head, all the emotions, it's probably not fun. So again, it's just like, why are we so hard on ourselves? I understand, again, if you're 95 years old and you're listening to this and you've never had anyone, I feel for you. I really do. But I think the majority of people listening to this podcast are in their teens, 20s, or 30s. And even if you are in your 30s, it's still not the end of the world. Like, look at J-Lo. Like, she just got married, and she's 40 something. Like, there's nothing wrong with not settling and waiting until you find that person that really just gives you butterflies, but at the same time makes you feel safe and makes you feel heard. And don't be so hard on yourself and think you have to be going on dates every single day or every single weekend to find your person. If you want to take some time off to just do your own thing, be yourself, maybe you're really busy for the next few months, do that. It's only going to help you in the end. If you're sacrificing your own personal needs for a date or for a guy, in the end, that's not going to help you. It's only going to hurt you. So it's better to put yourself first in these situations. Like, you don't have a boyfriend, you don't owe anybody anything. So why are you going out and maybe canceling a plan with your friend or something that might further you in your career for a date with a guy that you don't even know if you're gonna like? Another thing I've noticed, and something I used to do, was when I found a guy that I really liked and I wanted to see all the time, is I would literally rearrange my schedule for him. If he told me, oh, like, I can hang out Thursday night, but I already had plans to maybe go to a workout class or do something with a friend, I would be that person that would, you know what, I'll reschedule my class for another day. Or my friend's actually free Saturday too, so I'll just reschedule that with her. No, like, don't do that. A guy is not going to rearrange his schedule for you unless, you're in a serious committed relationship with him, and even then he might not do it. So when you're in those early stages, I really think you should be selfish. You're not rearranging your life for them, and I'm not saying that they should rearrange their life for you, but like, find a common ground. If you say to a guy, hey, you know what, I'm busy these next 4 days, I can't actually see you till next weekend. If they actually want to take the time to meet you, they're not going to care that you're busy. If anything, that should be a turn on to them, that you actually have a life and you're actually out doing things and not just, rearranging things and focusing all on them. And that would be a turn on for me, at least. And then, it's like, hey, I'm busy. Like, how's next weekend? If they are not jumping up and down to be like, yeah, that totally works, then move on to the next. Another thing I wanted to touch on was breakups. And I feel like this is such a taboo topic, but I want to normalize breakups. I feel like people are so toxic when it comes to ending things with people, whether it's a 5-year relationship or someone you went on 3 dates with, but and everything just in between. It does not need to be this big ordeal, and for a lot of people it's a maturity level, but I have just witnessed through myself and my friends the most toxic nonsense. And I think it's because people have a really hard time expressing their emotions and their feelings about things. And a lot of us don't want to show that vulnerable side of us. So to not deal with it, our generation has adapted to ghosting and just never talking to someone again. Or maybe you are someone that's going to send a 1 sentence text breakup to someone you've been seeing for 6 months. Like, it's stuff like that I think needs to be rewritten, because it's not right, and there's such a better way to go about things. For example, the guy I had been seeing for about 3.5 months, and I promise I will get into the story in depth at some point, but he ended things so immaturely that it really showed me how much I actually didn't want to be with him, because I realized he's actually a child. Actually, not even a child. I think a child would have more to say and be better about it than he was, but you know what I'm saying? It's like, not even a child would stoop that low. But he just handled things so immaturely. By one, he just overall stopped responding to me, and so when I eventually called him out on it, just sent me like a text saying, yo, sorry, and then never responded to anything I had said back ever again. And it's like, when you look back at a relationship or a situationship like that, it's like, how was I ever feeling such a close connection to someone that could literally just end things like that, as if I never mattered to them? So I'm trying to normalize maturity and being healthy, and I think people just get scared So when that guy that I went on 3 dates with, when I had decided, like, I don't really think now is the time for me to be seeing him, like, I don't really feel the need to see him anymore. Yeah, no, we had not been, seeing each other for as long as me and that other guy had, but I still wanted to end things in a more mature way than just, never talking to him again or ghosting him or sending him a sentence that said, I'm not feeling this, good luck. Like, peace out, dude. What I had done was I was at work at the time when he asked me like how I was feeling and where I was at, and I didn't necessarily think I needed to have an in-person conversation with him because again, we had only seen each other a total of 3 times. But what I had done is, and I've gotten really good at this, I love voice texting. It's so fun to do with your friends, little tangent there, but just like pick up your phone and you can like record yourself. It's really fun, and I think I probably like it because it reminds me of podcasting, but yeah. So anyway, what I did was I had recorded myself a little voice text saying how I felt because I didn't want him to read my text and, misinterpret my words because you can't hear my tone of voice. And so I had told him what I was thinking and how I was feeling. And then he called me and we had a conversation and things ended on such a nice, mature level. And I thanked him for, being so open and mature about it. And I just think if we all were to normalize this, it would make the world such a better place. Like, I could have so easily not responded to his text and just never talked to him again. But it's like, who is that helping? Like, that's only going to hurt this dude, regardless of the amount of time that we had spent together, and like make him more like unsusceptible to wanting to be a good person for somebody else. So if I can, show a guy like, yeah, this is how you should end things with someone if you ever are looking to do that, and they continue this healthy pattern, then that's only going to help everyone else in the world. Like, all it really taught me is that the way that other guy had ended things with me in such an unhealthy way, like, things probably ended very unhealthy for him with whatever his previous relationship was, and that's why he felt it was okay to do that, because it happened to him. So why am I promoting unhealthy behavior? Like, it's important, I think, to treat others as you want to be treated, like we were all taught in first grade. And yeah, it's not the most fun thing to sit on the phone and tell someone like why you don't think things are going to work out between the two of you, but in the end, like, it's only going to help them, and it's actually going to better yourself a lot more too. So that was a little bit of a rant there, but promoting just healthy breakups and healthy ways to end things, I think, is really important. And if you're someone that's likes to ghost people, or you're a fan of it, like, I encourage you to really think about why you're doing this. Like, did it happen to you? And next time you're in a situation where maybe you're looking to end things, like, how would you want that person to handle it with you? I want to wrap this episode up. I feel like I said a lot, but again, to just touch on my main points, for all you single girlies out there, just enjoy it. Like, you're not going to get this time back. I'm not saying delete all your apps and say no to every guy, but just focus on yourself. If there's ever a time in your life to be selfish, it's in your 20s and even in your 30s. Do what you want to do. And if you are going on dates with guys, it's not about impressing them. It's not about making them like you. You should be sitting there being your truest self and deciding if you like them. I am never going on a date with a guy in hopes to impress them. Yeah, I make sure I get ready, I do my hair, I put on makeup, and I look nice, but I'm not sitting there in a way of like, how can I impress this person? What can I do to make myself stand out? I'm just being myself, and if they like me, great. If they don't, I'll find someone else that does. It's more important to me that I'm focusing on whether or not I like them. It's a two-way street. It's great if they like you, but what if you actually hate them? So that's an important thing to figure out, and not put so much focus on impressing the other person, but more so, are they impressing you? I know some people feel pressure, especially near like the holidays, which will be coming up in a few months, with people bringing home people for holidays and family gatherings, and it's like gift giving season. But again, I feel like just try to look at everything with like a silver lining. Oh, it's Christmas. I guess I don't have to buy someone a gift because I don't have to waste my money on them because I don't have anyone. So I'm going to just go home, see my family, and spend a really good amount of time with them. And now I don't have to worry about the fact that I have to show this person that maybe they've met or they haven't met a good time. I can just focus on myself and my family. There's always a silver lining to things, and I think if more people looked at it with that perspective, they'd be a lot happier. I, for one, have decided that I'll be taking a backseat when it comes to dating. No, I'm not deleting my apps. No, I'm not going to say no if someone miraculously comes up to me on the street. But I'm just not going to put so much pressure on myself. And I have a wedding I have to go to in November, and my friend was like, hey, if you have someone, like, feel free to bring them. Like, no, I'm probably going to come alone, actually. I'll probably have more fun. So, and I have so much going on. I don't need to worry about finding a random day to, like, go meet somebody. If I happen to be on the dating apps and I match with someone and they take the time to get to know me and want to take me out, like, yeah, I'll make it work. I'll find a day that works, but I'm no longer going to make it a main priority of I need to find someone, I need to be with someone. I think it's really hard when you get out of something when you're seeing someone constantly or you're texting them constantly, and it's like, well, now I'm alone. I have no one to just hang out with or watch a movie with. But it's like I've really learned again how to be by myself, and it was really sad at first when that guy and me had, ended things so immaturely, because I would see him at least once or twice a week and I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do now? It was like I had forgotten how to be my own person. Like before him, I would lay in bed and watch TV by myself. I would go out to get food by myself. It was never a problem. But all of a sudden I was like, oh my God, like, what am I going to do now? Like, it was like I was having like a psychotic breakdown, literally. And I had to just really like take a deep breath and say, okay, wait, no, like I can sit at home for a night and be by myself and light a candle, put some lotion on, watch my shows, watch my movie, and then go to bed. Like, I don't need to have a person next to me constantly to talk to. And it's those moments where you finally realize you're 100% okay being by yourself that you're ready to start dating again and you're ready to actually go back out there and into the world. I'm going to end things there, but I hope you guys enjoyed this episode on why you should be single and why you should enjoy being single. And I know for me, it's very therapeutic to talk these things out, even though I'm literally just talking to myself right now. I've had so many conversations with my other single friends about this, and I think we're all finally on the same page. And, like I said, if something comes along, I'm not going to say no to it, but there's no need to prioritize something that I literally have the rest of my life to figure out. I'm only going to be 25 and young once, with the opportunities to do whatever I want without having kids or like serious finance issues, or just being able to say, you know what, I actually just want to go home and do nothing tonight. I don't owe anyone anything except for myself. And I think that's a beautiful thing. And one of the best things about being single is that you really don't owe anything to anyone except for yourself. So on that note, again, if you do not follow on TikTok or Instagram, it is at What the Frick Podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I really do. Again, I hopefully at some point I will release the podcast about that guy. I think it's extremely vulnerable, and I was in such a sad place when I recorded it, and I just really want to make sure that I am like 100% fully healed and the episode is perfect with all of my thoughts in it before I release it. And with that, I will see you guys next week.